Alright, let's talk about Fearless, Jack Campbell's second lap in the Lost Fleet series. When I closed the cover on this one, I actually had to check the spine to make sure the first book hadn't accidentally glued itself to the front. The transition is so seamless, it's like Campbell paused, took a breath, and then just kept typing right where he left off, and honestly, I love that. It immediately dumps you back into the cosmic deep end, right alongside Captain John Blackjack Geary and his perpetually stressed out Alliance crew. If the first book, Dauntless, was about Geary discovering he's a legend and trying to impose order on a space navy that had developed the discipline of a toddler in a sugar factory, Fearless is about what happens when that legend gets tested by the absolute worst parts of his own side. The stakes in this book don't just get raised, they get strapped to a rocket and launched into a black hole. We're deep in enemy territory, the enemy is getting smarter, and then BAM! The real crisis shows up and it's wearing an Alliance uniform. The plot structure here is basically a tension engine. You're flying through the pages, desperate to know how Geary is going to get out of the next impossible scrape. The action sequences are where this book absolutely shines. They are described with a level of tactical detail that makes me think Campbell probably moonlights as a naval strategist. The space battles aren't those quick, flashy laser fights you see in movies. They're long, grinding, relativistic chess matches fought over hours, with ships maneuvering like wary, angry whales trying to outflank each other. It's superb, logistically hard sci-fi that makes you feel you need a whiteboard and a degree in physics just to keep up with the genius of Geary's plans. But then, sometimes the logic hits a snag, specifically with the weaponry. I mean, here we are, centuries in the future, flying starships that are essentially city-sized instruments of war, and now and then they resort to using weapons that sound suspiciously like 17th century pirate cannonballs. Now look, I'll admit, when I read the first book, Dauntless, I kinda brushed past it. I was so caught up in the sheer, dizzying relief of Geary getting his fleet running that I just accepted the bizarre use of grapeshot and hell lances as a weird, quirky part of the universe. But now in Fearless, seeing it again, the sheer absurdity of it is really standing out. It's wildly, laughably stupid from a physics standpoint. Imagine cruising in a Lamborghini and needing to resort to throwing rocks at the car next to you. It's such an odd, recurring quirk that you just have to roll your eyes, admit it's a bit of fun, and concentrate on the excellent strategic storytelling. And speaking of storytelling, the character work here really elevates the narrative above just being a space wargame. Geary's journey, which is the heart of the series, takes a much more personal turn. It's less about him trying to fix the fleet's traditions and more about him grappling with the centuries worth of isolation and the crushing weight of being a mythical figure. He's essentially a ghost in the machine he didn't build, and seeing him struggle with whether he can afford to feel fear or hope, or heaven forbid love, makes him far more human than his Blackjack moniker suggests. Then there's Co-President Rhyhone, who gets a much needed injection of complexity. Her relationship with Geary becomes a major focal point. It's a weird, volatile pairing based on mutual respect, political necessity, and a lot of unspoken tension. She's the only one who can truly challenge him, and watching their professional and personal dynamics constantly twist and overlap is fantastic. She acts as this mysterious, magnetic anchor in his turbulent existence, and it's a smart way to develop both characters simultaneously. The downside? The villain needed to simmer a bit longer. When the mutiny kicks off, it's spearheaded by a certain captain who emerges from a prison camp and immediately decides he's the star of the show. This guy, unfortunately, is as subtle as a brick to the face. He's one-dimensional, utterly narcissistic, and frankly comical. He exists purely to act as a catalyst for internal chaos, and I really wish he had been written with more nuance, maybe some competent sympathetic qualities, instead of coming off as a glory-hounding caricature. However, introducing the mutiny allows Campbell to dive headfirst into heavy themes: the true definition of loyalty, the nature of command authority, and the ethical price of decisions made under fire. It's fantastic fodder for a space opera, and it makes you think about the true cost of war beyond just destroyed ships. And just when you think the Syndicate war is enough trouble, the world building tosses out hints of something much bigger, a shadowy, potential threat lurking beyond the known battle lines. It's like being trapped in a house that's on fire, and then you realize a tsunami is also headed your way. That layer of mystery adds a delicious new level of paranoia and scope, ensuring the series never feels stale. Ultimately, Fearless is a book I absolutely barreled through. It's witty, the dialogue is clean and fast, and it successfully expands the world and the characters established in the first volume. It leaves you feeling like you just finished a long, stressful deployment, but you can't wait for the next mission brief. Is Fearless worthy? Absolutely. This book isn't just a placeholder sequel, it significantly ups the stakes, deepens the emotional arc of its protagonist, and takes the series in bold, new, dangerous directions, focusing just as much on the internal politics of the Alliance fleet as it does on the external war with the Syndics. It's an intensely character-driven military sci-fi story that uses masterful tactical writing to pull you in. If you can forgive Campbell for his bizarre obsession with futuristic naval weaponry that seems to run on 17th century physics, you'll find an engaging, thrilling ride. It doesn't quite do enough to feel fully satisfying as a standalone novel, it's more like a crucial chapter, but it certainly compels you to strap in for the next one. It's the perfect blend of military grit, internal conflict, and rising cosmic tension, making it essential reading for anyone who enjoyed the first book.